the More Than Words podcast. We
We
can't find
haven't
our
been here
music.
in a long time, but we missed you.
Girl, we can't find
Ooh.
that theme music. We don't know where that theme music went. Y'all can't leave us with no video or audio files too long because we like, so what happened to that theme song we had? So if you're just joining us, Liz, this is probably the first time you heard Liz and I voice in a long time. Now keep in mind, y'all, we missed y'all, okay? But even more importantly, we missed each other. Cause guess what? This is my girl over here.
Yes.
She been
Uh,
busy.
yes, I've missed you, Shara, so much, and I've missed us having this space and being able it's so important being able to just use your voice. And that's been a theme of mine over the last few months, really, is just trying to find my voice. And I have a certain feeling, and this is probably like a coach slash therapy moment. But I have certain feelings around authenticity, right? And being yourself and all of those things. It's probably deeply rooted in something, right? Colonialism or I don't know what. But little by little, I needed this time to, and I feel like we keep saying this, especially this year, but I'm not apologizing. I'm promoting it and we're showing it as an example of instead of just pushing through, instead of just um what's the word? Pulling out content is
Mm-hmm.
really taking a step back and having that refocusing, just taking care of things that maybe not come easily, but that they're going to help you get to this more creative process, right? Because so many people are like, I'm not creative. And I was one of them, like, I'm not creative. I don't know how to do this. Actually, we're all creative. We're all creative. We're all resourceful. We're all whole. And it's how do you tap into that? And for me, that refocus was about finding my voice and figuring out what's next in between all of this. And we started talking about our direction for More Than Words podcast and the Aunties of Inclusion.
For sure.
Um, and I was like, let's just record so that I can give you my TED Talk dissertation.
Yeah. Yeah. No one gets expired when someone tells you they got a TED talk for you. But I was open-minded. I was open-minded. I was like, oh child, let
I'm
me
not
just
being,
make
I'm
sure
like,
this
I
coffee.
get excited when people are like, I got a TED Talk. I'm like, yes, go, pull
No,
up. No, people don't get
no,
excited about that.
no. I don't
Oh,
got 30 minutes all the time. I'm like, girl, what's going on? Give me the Cliff Notes. Okay. Give me
well,
the
this is
AI co-pilot version.
this is a reel. This is a short reel of TED Talk. Just like the
Perfect.
snippets that they
Perfect.
do on Instagram.
I agree with you 100%. I think it's value in all the things. But you know what? My attention span these days like this because I'll be like, and a one and a two. If
all
you're
of
not
our
there, I'm
all
like,
of our attention spans are this. Social media has a lot to blame for it, right? Or it's
or
just a different way of learning, right?
or it's too much going on. And
Oh my God.
we talk all day. We talk even whether we talk in like verbally or we are using our fingers to talk and think and all the things. It's like, ooh, child, I just need 10 minutes, honey, without the anything, just a zero. But I will say before you get to the TED Talk, I do want to also acknowledge that listen, Liz and I are not paying hundreds of dollars for the algorithm to like us. So what you don't know behind the scenes, don't spit it out. We're gonna tell them the truth. The truth is, Liz and I was doing all the things, okay, honey? Posting, doing the highest periods, the peak periods, getting the content on all the channels and medias and all the things, right? With all these subscriptions we pay for. And guess what? We started getting them notifications like, excuse us, you're not paying for these good old ads here. So we're not going to put your content very high. So we were just like, so listen, if that's your scheme, I'm sorry. Like we're not going to be busy and then you hustle us for our content to be like, yo, you gotta pay me to get visibility. Like,
We're
wait
not
a minute.
paying. We're not
We
paying.
are we will
No,
not be
we're gonna
bullied.
be we're gonna be growing this. organically. That's always been kind of our goal.
Yes.
And that kind of goes in line with like what 2025 looks like for us.
Hit it. Hit the TED Talk. Come on.
Hmm. Ding, 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 ding.
If you
My
don't see
check,
this on video, y'all
my
missed it
check.
up.
Ding, 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 ding. I don't know why I'm doing the ding, ding,
I
ding,
don't
ding.
know what's that. What's that finger motion? I don't
Boop, boop,
understand.
boop, boop. You're like boom,
Oh,
boom, boom,
like a
boom,
glass.
boom, boom, boom,
Okay.
boom. Is it a glass? No, I don't know.
Just stop.
So for me, what I want as a redirection for More Than Words podcast, for the aunties of inclusion, for you and I personally, I want us to create a space of where people can come up and say, one, like, I belong here. This is a space where I can be and just be. And I want to bring in that positivity, not the fake positivity, but the real positivity, right? The realness of everything. Um I I also feel like we can show people what it's like to move in corporate America as entrepreneurs, um, and move it in a way that is true to us and where it's our decision. So my two words for 2025, and I've picked two, usually I pick one. This year, 2024 was peace. So I did a lot of things that protected my peace. I defined what that meant for me because for me, peace isn't always like mindfulness, it's not always rest. It is like where I have that power and I'm not giving it away. At least I don't feel like I'm just giving things away freely or I'm living like really I'm not living in fear. Because I think many of us operate in that level. And so I want to show what it's like to not operate in fear. How do we do that? Um and sometimes it creeps up, right? Because it's those behaviors that we have and it's gonna creep up and that's gonna be natural. But how do like Shara and I, we work together as friends in our relationship to to support one another, right? So my 2025 words are freedom and choice.
Girl, we need to be snapping. Is this poetry? Like, what's going on here? Okay, freedom and peace. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that a lot. I think this last year, this current year, that feels like the last year, is has had so many variations. I do think freedom and peace is a great focus for you, given all the things that you've been working on. And I mean, you've been knocking things down, taking names, creating things, bringing people along. Liz has been doing her entrepreneur thing wholeheartedly and having great success because she ain't gonna tell you that part. But I am with you 100% with the peace. So let me tell you, my two words is rest and restoration. Okay. So if you don't know the difference, here's my definition because I heard somebody explain theirs differently, and I was like, I don't think we on the same line with the language, but okay. So rest, truly, truly resting, right? Like being very intentional with my sleep, if creating practices around my napping, and also being very mindful with my body to say I'm tired, whether that's my mind is tired, my body is tired, my eyes are tired. I'm tired of hearing people's voices. Mentally exhausted with something like boom, we got to figure out when rest needs to hit, right? Like that's going to be my focus. The reason that's important of obvious reasons. But to be honest, it's going to be so much going on in 2025 with chaos, confusion, misdirection, uncertainty. It's like, really, how do I navigate those things well and really, in my mind, rest when I'm the most clear, when I've had enough rest, I'm the best at in those spaces. I also recognize that I navigate super well in ambiguity and uncertainty to the point that that's like my default. I'm actually very comfortable in those spaces, but too much of that, for this or 4 years or however you want to categorize, it's gonna be a lot. So I need to just pace myself to ideal rest and rest practices. Restoration is the word that most people, I'm like, hey, listen, I don't think we agree on this. But restoration for me is going to be putting in the things in my mind, body, and soul that I need to be more full cup. You know what I mean? Like, where are all the things that I need to just be like 100% myself or 1,000% myself so I could be more authentic in spaces, right? Where I'm not trying to just navigate my brain and turn things off and I can just be truly present in the moment, right? And to
Mm.
me, the key part, what is going to be for me is learning. So I spend a lot of time in spaces. Either people are asking, I'm leading it, I'm facilitating it, I'm co-creating with somebody. It's a lot of you are versus, you know what, I want to be in a classroom or I want to be a student where I am just one of many who are trying to explore and learn a new thing versus being the actual person that's
Mm.
leading, guiding, and those types of things. So not that I'm not going to do those things, but I'm gonna be more mindful to say, hey, listen, you're gonna see me in this space, but you also I need to fill up. I love to learn. I love curiosity. I love being in new things and new experiences. I am really a student at heart, like teach me, tell me, let
Yeah.
me figure it out and play with Legos and those types of things. Like that's me. Like, that's the essence of fills my inner child and also fills me up because I get to take all those things and put the pieces together to make something meaningful. So rest and restoration. If you don't use those words in that way, then you pick your own word, but those are my words.
I love those. I love those words, and I'm just looking at the definitions of restoration because I'm like, well, what does restoration mean to me? It's like I love this: regaining strength, balance, functionality, physically, emotionally, mentally, preserving, revitalizing. I can't say that word. Uh,
You used your best. You did your best.
repairing ecosystems, renewing a sense of purpose and values and connection, rebuilding trust in relationships or communities. Shara, very, very deep. I love it.
Yes, yes, but I don't know why people don't read the definition because somebody tried to tell me restoration was something different. I said, honey child, I don't know where you got yours from, but my
Maybe they were
king.
thinking of like restoration hardware.
I think they were, yeah, I think the way they described it was more like coming from out of like to your point, like if you're restoring furniture, right? You're scraping off the old
Yeah,
to
coming out
create something
from the
elderly.
deeps of the fires
Yeah,
and
I'm like,
into the no, no,
honey,
no, 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 no.
I'm
It's
not in
just
a cocoon. I'm fine. This is polished and prime, honey. It's just more the feeling. Like I need to be, it's something about being constantly in control, right? Like if you're, I can't even imagine, like you're a mom, you're a wife, those types of roles, like constantly being that person that people expect something from doesn't allow you to be in spaces a lot where you're not in that role. You know what I mean? Like put a different lens on it, teacher, leader, manager, whatever it is. Like I just want to be in a room, virtual or in person, and I want to be absolutely not aware enough about the topic, and I just want to be curious and be a learner. And that vulnerability for me, that's the space I get to be the most vulnerable, right? Where no one's expecting me to do anything but just be my best self, which is figure it out. You know what I mean? So I'm very excited about this part.
I love that. I think it also reminds me of this society where we consume so much information. And I think what's coming up for me as you were talking was the intentionality of it, right? So not consume just to consume, but to consume with purpose and intentionality. Um, with that curiosity and that, for the goal to learn and grow. And so what do you feel is, because I'm just curious on this restoration and this learning part of
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So I
What
haven't figured out what it is gonna be.
No, no, but I'm asking you, like, what do you want to gain from this learning moment?
I don't know. That's the best part. I just want to be curious. Because I'll tell you, this year I have been like, you know what? I'm curious about nonprofits. So I ended up partnering with a nonprofit and doing some work, and it ended up being completely the best, one of the best parts of my year. And I will tell you that I had no intention. Like I just was open to the experience, and I had no intention until I got in here and we scoped out what it's going to look like, what we were going to do together. And I need more of that. Like I just need to be in spaces where like I need to get that feeling of this is new for me. This is something I get to try or experiment with. And I get to be, not in control in this instance. I can just be just myself, just as a curious learner, right? And I was very open with the people I was partnering with, even though, of course, you're going to do the work and all that. But it's like, this is a new space for me. I'm telling you that you have to, give me some direction. I want to learn from you. And they were super helpful in that way. They were like, let me show you the ropes of how this looks like. Yeah. And I got to just be a student. And of course, I step in and do my part and those types of things. But like, I want more instances where I don't have to step in. I can sit down and learn something.
And
And
learn from, yeah, because
yeah,
I think we get stuck, and especially if you're in corporate America or you have like you do a little piece of the puzzle, and you there aren't as many opportunities unless you intentionally create them where you can just learn and grow. And usually, and I've been in this position where you're just mindlessly just taking care of tasks. You're just trying to survive, and you're just trying to get through whatever you got to get through. And what that really does, for me, from my experience, is it really impacted and impacts my confidence levels, because I'm not using a certain part of my brain or a certain part of my abilities the way I want to be doing. And it's like, and I struggle with mundane tasks. I know I have to do them and I will do them, but I really struggle with those mundane, like everyday tasks, like, okay, I gotta do this and, da 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 da. Um, but sometimes it's my safety zone, because if I'm too much in the creativity side of things, in terms of like ideation or brainstorming or holistic thinking, if I'm too much there, because that's not my natural state of being, then I'm like, I need some, and I'll go do like a Monday task just to like get my mind right. But I can't be too much in both spaces. I need to be right in the middle. And I feel like for a long time, I was in a space where I was just getting the tasks done. And I think as a parent, you end up doing that anyways. So you were just like, kind of blinders on and just getting things done, just getting through the day. And what ended up happening is that you at the end of the night, when you are just when you're alone, or your spouse is there or your partner's there, you put the kids to bed and you've somewhat gotten ready for the next day, you have like this like dread at the pit of your stomach, because you're like, shit, I got to start this all over again tomorrow. Somebody's always going to need something from me. And that's really, really hard in the parental world. And what I would say with that, Shara, as like now a full entrepreneur, as a mom, as a very career focused mom, dual career household, what I've learned from myself in this time as a mom, and all of that, is you gotta let go. And I know that's really, really easy to say, but I do think that there are some unrealistic expectations put on women, on moms, and And I was even guilty of operating in this way even recently to this, where you kind of you put aside the fact that you are a mother. You do. And then you build resentment for with people that don't have children unfairly, and you start kind of being judgmental and having a little resentment. Well, I'm a big believer in like when there is that resentment, there's a need that isn't being met. Thanks, Melanie Ryan, for teaching me that. But there's a need that isn't being met, and I need to dig deep into like where is this resentment coming from, right? And it's that need or that yeah, that need that isn't being met is the balance, the control, the freedom you feel tied in. And it's because like we do too much. We're choosing to say yes to everything. Like stupid elf on the shelf. I hate that little guy.
Leave it alone.
I hate him. I hate the
Girl.
elf on the shelf. Y'all just say no. Say no to the PTA. Say no to baking cookies. Say no to homemade things unless you want to. Like, don't feel the pressure that you have to, right? If you don't want to, just don't do it. We've
Go
said
off.
so we now we have our family meetings. So Stuart and I have family meetings. And our kids are part of the meeting as well. And I have given my kids the freedom to say no to things. So, for example, my youngest had a really tough week. Nativities have, there's a lot of school activities, nativity, choirs, um, uh, breakfast with Santa, all these different things that they're having to do. Parents have to provide things for. Plus, they have extracurricular activities, right? There's basketball, netball, which I don't even know what netball is, but there's netball. There's cricket. There's football. There's debate club. There's theater. Like there's swimming. So this is my whole week, right? And my youngest, and I was so proud of him. My youngest said, "I've had a really tough week this week." He's like, "My tooth wasn't feeling very good. Um, he's very nervous in public speaking. He's like, I had a role in the nativity and I had to narrate parts of the nativity in front of all these parents at the church and everything. And he's like, and that he goes, that was really stressful for me. He's like, because I don't like doing that. I had to learn all these different songs. He goes, and also I did 3 different tests today. I said, okay, so what do you want to do? He's like, well, I don't want to go swimming today. I feel like I need that space, that time for myself. And you know what I did? I said, all right, we ain't going swimming today. We're gonna go get some ice cream and we're gonna go home and we're gonna play on our iPads because we like to color, like color me
Love it.
happy.
Love it.
We laid in the bed, we put on our comfy socks on, and we rested. And we
Good.
just did what we want. And guess what, Shara? The world kept moving.
I know. I was about to say, and guess what? Nobody, nothing stopped.
Nothing stopped because you rested. So
Yeah.
saying no to something, the only thing that we do tell our kids is the impact. So for example, um, my oldest son is part of a team. So if we say you're not playing football, he doesn't want to play football today because it's windy and rainy and cold and it's Saturday and he's had a tough week. I said, okay, that's fine, but you know the impact to your community and your team, right? At the end of the day, you are part of a team. So, we have to probably coming home from school anyways, but
Yeah.
but like I think all that to say is going back to the intentionality of things and
Yeah.
just taking those words of our years, the words for next year, defining them, like looking at what the definition is, what resonates with you, why is it that you picked that word? And for me, like freedom and choice is I now want to move in spaces that in ways that's my choice. So a few things that are very, very me. I
Yeah.
am a mother, so I'm going to be speaking more about being a mom. I am a woman. I'm a Latina woman. I'm going to be speaking more things about Latina, my experience as a Latina woman,
Hmm.
right? As a mom, as an entrepreneur. And I want to be that, not the example, but that little, I felt this last year, I met so many incredible, powerful women who are entrepreneurs, who are very successful. And what what blew me away from each one of them is that their definition of success was totally different from each other and from mine.
Mm.
And we all felt a sense of success.
Yes.
And I also want to strip away the expectations
Hmm.
and say, is this coming from me or is this coming from something external that I feel like I should?
Yeah.
So
Good on you.
that's my freedom and my choice. That's to me, that is an understanding that that comes in a very a position of privilege because I know that that freedom and choice is a position of privilege. And
Hmm.
so how do I take that for myself as well as creating those opportunities for others who a don't have that or feel like they don't have that. So the
Yeah.
unstuckness, the powerlessness, the not having that choice. So how in small ways can I be part of their choice journey, freedom journey? I
Yes.
don't know,
Yeah.
something.
No, it makes it different. I like it. I like the word that you're using because one is authentic to you, but two is also like, listen, we've just gotten away from some simplistic things that we just got to get back to. And I think that goes back to, and I know the boys will be coming home, so we'll have to wrap up soon. But I think that goes right into like, I know I've been getting a lot of questions from people who are doing DNR, inclusion or belonging work, specifically around like the political climate in the US. And let me just say, this is my 2 cents, and I'm not spending a lot of time on it. It is, regardless of what happening around you and in your space, you still have control over yourself, right? And how you're going to navigate that. And in the responsibilities we have, you're not alone, right? Like everybody is trying. I've been to so many like 2025 indications or predictions. And I'm like, if I go to another one of these and all you're saying is the same thing we all been talking about on the phone, is first of all, I sounded super old talking about on the phone. We ain't talking on the phone, we texting. Okay. So that must have been the spirit of my grandmama coming through talk because she be on that phone. That I'm gonna have to. That might have been my grandma coming through right here. But what I will say is the same answer is we're gonna be navigating uncertainty, and we've been doing that for a while now. So
Mhm.
we know that we don't know all that we know, and so we're just going to have to manage ourselves and be very good at managing the expectations of others, right? That's all you can do when you're in a situation of uncertainty. And just
Yeah.
know that call a friend. If you don't know, if you feel like you're being overwhelmed by the world around you, just reach out to the community, right? Ask a question. What are people doing? What are you thinking about? What are you telling your clients? What are you telling, whatever the case may be, we're going to just help you out. Because guess what? That's how we get through uncertainty together. And so
Mm.
I
You're
want
not,
to also
yeah.
also acknowledge that the globe, US is doing their thing, but the globe is still globing. And guess what? This conversation, this work is still important and actually is going exponentially up in a lot of places. So maybe it's time to expand your domestic focus, like maybe from the US as much to globally in the world
Yeah.
because
And
they
how
are
can, yeah,
under.
and how can you, like expanding that's what is that circle of control and the things that you're consuming online. If it's too negative, turn it off.
Yeah,
Turn
yeah,
it off, and
yeah,
figure out like, okay, well, what do I need today?
yeah,
I'm
for sure.
excited, Shara. I'm
Me
excited because
too.
we're gonna have some
Absolutely.
real conversations.
Yes.
Yes, I want to be part of for whoever's listening here. I want to be part of your journey and wherever you want to go. I want to be your cheerleader. I want to
Not in an
offer,
annoying way. Not in an annoying way, because you know how I feel.
no, not like you can
Okay.
do it. No, 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 no. Like you can't do it. But I just want to be. I want to
Yeah,
be there for whoever's listening and in any way, shape, form, whatever
yeah,
you need today. That's what I
yeah,
want. I want to be there for.
yeah. So yes, we're optimistic, and I know in a time like this when everybody doesn't feel that way, I just want to let you know that when I've been on this little circuit and people are like, let me ask you what you think. I've been like, listen, we know about these things. We know that it's going to be uncertain, but guess what? I'm optimistic because what when they be like optimistic, I'm like because I can control me and I can control as much within my I can influence as much as in my sphere of influence, but beyond that, I still got life goals. I still have things that's important to me.
It
I still
doesn't
have
stop.
relationships.
None
Yeah,
of
like
those, none of the real
yeah,
things stop. It continues
yeah,
to happen.
yeah.
So it's like let's focus on that.
Yeah. And let's get our skills up. Hey, listen, I invite all of you, if you are in this space and you are super feeling a lot of anxiety about the future, what we're working on and how we're navigating D&I or whatever the new words are going to be, inclusion and belonging, pick a word. But if you are nervous about it, hey, I offer you and invite you to be a student again. I'm always going to recommend if you haven't taken CDI, take CDI. If I'm always going to recommend, when's the last time you sat in a class and did a certification? Matter of fact, when is the last time you just did something that had nothing to do with this work that was just fun, right? Like go get a cooking class
Yes.
just for fun, if that's what you do. Find a knitting group. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's things out there. Go
Yeah, it
play.
doesn't have to
Go
always
play.
be purposeful. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be like that's what my son
Yeah.
said when I asked him, I'm like, why do you like Fortnite? And he's like, I go, give me what you give me what you're learning from this. And he's like, you know what? I don't have anything. I don't have anything that I'm learning from it. He goes, but what I am doing is I'm having a good time.
Period. Okay. And don't be hard on our gamers and those people who love virtual reality because that world has a sense of belonging for a lot of people. I just had this conversation with somebody. I said,
Look,
listen,
I know I
don't be
can't
too
get
hard on them.
behind. I can't get behind. I know people tell me I can't. I just like Fortnite bothers me, but
Listen,
maybe people can
not just,
convince me otherwise.
I'm not saying Fortnite is the answer or Minecraft or whatever the case may be, but I want to acknowledge that in the world where this gamer world where people have built these personas and these identities that give them credibility that people admire in that space, that it's okay to be in that space. I'm just saying, of course, we could talk about the fact that some of those the safety around it for children and others and those types of things, and maybe and even the language, because I done walked into a couple of things. I'll be like, I'm a grown up and we don't be using those words. Okay.
Yes, okay. I'm like,
But
let's talk
the
about the people
con
that you're listening to. So yeah, so my boys have gotten into Fortnite, both of them. Okay.
ooh,
Yes. And all of a sudden Snoop Dogg is back.
he's back. And yeah, because guess what? Even a grown person needs to get a space where they can have a little fun and not be
I
so
get
open.
it. I get it. I know. I'm not hating on y'all gamers, but you know, I gotta protect my babies
I know. I
from
think we all
things.
gotta have a physical responsibility to make sure people are safe. But
We're
hello.
getting off topic now, Cher. Like we
I
just
know, but I just want to throw it out there because it's important. I think we need to tell people why we be the stuff that we go off topic on. Okay, so listen, we gotta go, y'all. So if in closing reflection, we love y'all. We appreciate everyone asking about the podcast. We appreciate people reaching out to us, talk about when we're going to do an episode. I want to be on the show. We're going to get to you, hun. We are on the way.
yes.
Okay,
We're
we're
on
bringing
the way. Get ready
on
for
the
a
way.
beautiful 2025. Let's be kind to one another. Let's be unhurried. Let's be kind. Let's find that restoration and that freedom that whatever that means for you.
Yeah, and eat those cookies that you want to eat. Don't worry
Oh, I
about
just
it. You
ate so
got
much
time.
chocolate.
But you gotta get those Mexican cookies, the Mexican wedding cookies that I like in the little can. Go on and get you a few of them. It's all right. No, you
Go to
got
Mama
plenty
D.
of time.
Mama D has some for you.
Ooh, Mama D, don't give me no wedding cookies. Listen, y'all, I'm not gonna tell y'all about them, but forget bolos. Bolos ain't enough. Them guys that go wedding cookies, I was like this.
Yes. All right, y'all. Have
See
a great
y'all.
year. We'll see you in
Yes.
2025. Bye.
Peace.